Alright, so we're in Algebra 1, Lesson 8-3, Interpreting Exponential Expressions. Today's date is Thursday, February 6, 2020. What is our objective?
Interpret the initial amount and factor of an exponential expression in the context of a real-world problem.
There it is. So yesterday we had the general formula, and I'm just cutting off this piece. I used to have, like, if I have y equals, or I'm just going to simplify this from an equation into an expression. So there's your expression. You have a start amount, and the other word is what? I've been saying over and over yesterday. Kira?
Factor.
Well, what is another word for start? Sorry. Bad question.
Base?
Say again?
Base.
Not quite. It starts with an I.
Initial.
Initial, there it is. And you'll be seeing the word initial now through our problems, so I've prepped us well, I think, now, saying it over and over again. Factor is our new word. I used to use the word common factor, or not common factor, I used to use the word common ratio, but factor is a little bit more adapt. And then this is what I multiply by, so we'll write an arrow. This is what we multiply by. And eventually we're going to be doing things with time, but we can't do time yet, so we'll say time will come in a future lesson. Time is always t, but if it says like 2 is the time or 300 is the time, that's obviously wrong. We haven't learned about what time is happening. Usually it's going to be something like this, and if you want to see a preview of what's to come, I'm going to have something like 3 times 1.25 to the power of t divided by 3, and that means every 3 weeks we multiply by the factor of 1.25. Time is now included in our equation. But for now, I'm leaving it t, making it nice and simple. It happens every 1 week or every 1 day or every one of something. All right, so I need a person to read our first paragraph. Volunteer. Jade.
The expression in 300 times 2 to the t power gives the number of bacteria as a function of the number of days since it was put in a petri dish.
Perfect, thank you. All right, so what are we thinking? So that 2 there, it's one of those options. Is it when it was added? So this is a time question. It's 2 days, so it's time. It's probably not the answer for today. The number of bacteria is multiplied by 2, so is that a multiply number, or is it the initial amount? Maybe we should underline the word initial in initially, because initial is right there. So we have initial, we have multiplied, and then we have days. So we can kind of separate them into time, multiply, and initial. Who has our answer? Is it A, B, or C? Eamon.
I'm saying it's B.
B. Why B?
Because it isn't, because it says that the 2 is, I mean, generally the equation states that the 300 is the initial, and since everything is multiplying itself, the 2 would make sense to the equation. Plus the power gives you the number of days.
Yeah. Okay, so you've analyzed that very thoroughly. That's the initial, that's what I multiply by that, and that's the time, which we're not really given. Yeah, perfect. So 2 is exactly the thing that we're multiplying by. The correct answer is indeed B. Let's try one more example, and then we'll be done. Because these are about as easy as this, I think. I only did like 4 problems on Khan Academy, but I based them on those 4 problems. So yeah, there was a typo. The expression 1.34. So who wants to read that entire thing? Maybe Hazi? Esha?
The expression 1.34 times 1.05 to the power of t gives the amount of money in thousands of dollars in Haziel's bank account t years after he opens it. What does the 1.34 represent in this equation?
All right, so read through those multiple choice.
Oh.
Or not you yet. Everyone in your heads, read through those multiple choice answers. What are we thinking? This one is slightly more difficult. All right, check with your left and right neighbors. Did they get the same answer as you? And then maybe if you have different answers, discuss why you got different answers. And it's okay to be loud.
Yeah. Why do you see? Oh,
Because it's the initial.
That's the start amount. Usually the start amount is.
Okay, so I hear a lot of really good conversations. Let's do a vote here, a poll where every single person answers, and then Charles is going to tell us why he thinks the answer is whatever he chose. Everyone's going to vote A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, hold up number of fingers, 1, 2, or 3. Oh, wow. So there is a majority. Charles, talk to us. Why did you choose A?
I chose A because the account he had 1,340 in it when he opened it, so that's what he started with, and 1.34 is the starting amount.
Okay, so you're just saying that that number represents the starting amount, and that is interpreting this as the starting amount. That's when he opened it. Okay, interesting. Does that change any of our answers? Give me a thumbs up if that changed your answer to 1. And
Oh, no.
okay. Is there anyone else that wants to explain why they think it's either B or C? Yeah, Larissa.
Well, I thought it was C because it says he opened his account 34 years ago, so that would be like the starting.
Okay, so that sounds like a starting amount too. Yeah, I agree. Okay, it does sound like a starting amount. So who is it gonna be? Let's hear from our correspondent Jade, because I know that she had another answer aside from A as well.
So I actually kind of got this from Ulysses, but it made more sense as he explained it to me. I think it's B because 34 is a percent, and it looks like they had already moved the decimal twice to the left and added the 1 in front of it.
Oh, interesting. So yeah, I agree that
So-
1.34, I can convert that into increase by 34%. Is all of the above an answer? Unfortunately, it's not.
Can I say why it's not C?
I'm gonna give it to someone else, but if we still can't come to an answer, I'll come back to you. Yeah, Wyatt, I've seen your hand raised for a while. Go for it.
So I'm gonna say it's still A because it's by the thousands. So we have to move the decimal point to the right to increase it. So if you move it 3 times to the right, you get 1,340 in the bank. So that's your initial amount, and it's by the thousands. So that's what I'm thinking is A.
All right. I've never held on to the actual answer for so long, but it's so cool to have this conversation. Keep going. This is amazing. There's a question from Kira first.
Okay, why did you just decide to move the decimal 3 times?
Yeah.
Okay, so it says
Is
right
that
in here,
legal?
in the thousands of dollars. So to increase a number, you have to move the decimal point to the right, and to make it a thousands digit, you have to move it to the right 3 times.
So, for example, if I said 1.2 million, what would I do? That's not an M. Million. What would I do there? What I would do 1, and then how many would I move it to the right?
5-ish.
6. Yeah. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 1,200,000 is 1.2 million, and that's exactly right. So I agree that 1,340 does match up with $1.34 thousand. All right, let's hear from someone else. Let's hear from Charles again.
I want to say why it's not
Yeah, you can
C,
sit up, go for it.
because 34 years ago, that's time.
Oh, okay, so he's pointing out years means time.
I never even
Oh, and
Okay. Yeah, what?
and it's not B because it says account increases, so it's not your initial amount because it's saying it's increasing by.
Oh,
and
okay.
each year, so
Yeah.
that's time also.
Well,
That's your
each
one.
is
I know, but it's
every.
in
Yeah, so be careful what the 34 represents. Does 34 represent 8% or does it represent time? This 34 definitely represents time because it says 34 years. This 34 represents an amount that you're multiplying by. And then Kira?
Okay, well, I was gonna say why I don't think it's B or C.
Okay.
Because the number we are multiplying by is 1.05, because it's in the place that the factor is, and 1.34 is the base. Like, you're not multiplying by 1.34, you're multiplying by 1.05.
Yeah, okay, so it's definitely, I agree. All right, so everyone, let me see your fingers again. A, B, C, what do you get? Interesting. All right, so the answer, I'll give it to you, is A. A, because when I opened it, that means that this is my initial amount. I can write that under here. My initial amount is 1,340. That's what happened when Haziel opened his bank account. I interpret that as the initial amount, and the initial amount is always the number that goes out front. Yeah, that was an awesome discussion, and that was beautiful. Like, if we could have that discussion every day, I might cry. That is awesome. So thank you. That is all for our notes. Let's do the really quick fist of 5. How well do we understand how to interpret these expressions? I'm seeing 5s, 4s, 5, 5, 4, 10, 4. All right, nice. Yeah, we can begin on Khan Academy. We can take a 60-second break.